match this is, as the sports pages have said today in big headlines. Canada, Soviets, der grosse match, the big game.
I think the players are resenting some of Tikhonov's coaching tactics.
I talked to one of the Soviet writers today, and he says there is a huge distance between Tikhonov and his players. Katarinov scores! So already, do you think, Gary, they have to start playing back in their heels?
No, Team Canada can't afford to do that, Paul. They've got to continue to challenge that puck carrier.
Fedosov shooting. Just missed. Sharp angle shot by Homatov. Back to the line. Fedosov in off the boards around back of the net. Homatov sends it right in front. They score. Fleury. McCowan shoots. And Erbe will hang on. That's only the second shot on goal for Canada.
Theron Fleury. Fleury gets pulled down by Gusarov in front of the net. You can see that Gusarov had a hold of Theron Fleury's stick. And likewise, Fleury a hold of Gusarov's stick.
And look at
now
Gusarov.
Watch this now. Gusarov looks down on Fleury, and then Fleury, it wasn't Gusarov that knocked Fleury from behind.
And Doug Lidster and company will stare up at the clock and see another 2-minute Soviet man advantage to worry about.
Watch Gus Adams right in the corner, gets his stick up way too high and leaves it there. Those type of retaliation penalties end up being costly for Team Canada. King talked earlier today about making sure that the players had to maintain their discipline.
Back to the line. Konstantinov scores. Kamensky. Erbe with the poke check. You saw that didn't work. Bellows works it in. Yzerman. Here's Coffey back at the point. 1:10 left in the power play. Knocked away from Coffey. Fedorov breaking in. Essenza on the goal line. It's in.
And a dejected Bob Essenza.
Giving up 4 goals and 10 shots, as I mentioned, but don't hang that millstone on him. He didn't get a lot of help. Pryakin with Makarov in front. Pryakin, backhand shot right through the crease, and Makarov was tied up by Jamie McCowan. Couldn't get his stick on it. Fedosov working against Tocchet. McCowan comes in and gives the facial massage to Dmitry Kristich. And speaking of getting ugly,
McCowan and Kristich going at it right along the boards, right in front of Team Canada's bench. It was Tocchet that was down first of all. Kristich fell on top of him, and McCowan didn't like that the least bit. Something you don't see a great deal of, players wailing away at each other with their fisticuffs in international play here at the World Championships, but McCowan and Kristich chose to be the exceptions. Tocchet got himself involved in it as well, which is a dangerous move.
period starting with Dmitry Kristich and Jamie McCowan in the penalty box, offsetting penalties, so the team's at even strength. And Team Canada down by a score of 4-0. And the puck popping up there and hitting Andrei Homatov. And that caught him right under the visor and right on the mouth by the looks of it.
Paul Coffey was trying to flip that puck out so it would lay in the neutral zone. Now watch, when he gets possession of it right here, he's going to flip it high, trying to flip it over. Didn't work. Homatov was hit squarely in the face, and he's going to the Soviet bench right now.
And I'll take a wild guess and say he may be cut for some stitches. You could see the blood dripping down from, looked like his forehead or his nose as he headed over to the bench. And that's a pretty good look at it.
Well, as close up as you're going to get.
But not as close up as Homatov saw it. A little too close.
4-on-4 right now for Team Canada.
Gilmore with Acton. Acton. There's a shot. And Cullen almost found the net. Cullen along the boards, tied up, and Bure will start back.
We'll see a lot more of Cullen in this second and third period. Dave King actually does not like the NHL's version of delay offside. He thinks it's too easy for defensemen not to then realize the importance of the neutral ice area, that they just can automatically fire it in knowing that their forwards can clear the zone. Keith Acton in a familiar position.
Here's Acton. Konstantinov. Gilmore picks it up in the corner. Nobody in front for him to go to. He's trying to bide some time. Petit is there now. Gilmore, great effort. Acton at the side of the net, tied up there by Konstantinov. And tough to penetrate down in front of that Soviet goal.
The other one I should have mentioned is Ron Sutter, who they think is playing with a broken toe. They're not even having that x-ray. There's not much you can do for a broken toe right now, other than it's painful for Ron Sutter.
Konstantinov. And Kamensky dumped, and we're going to have a penalty there by the looks of it. And over on the other side of the ice, you see Keith Acton. He collided with Konstantinov.
They've done that a few times in tonight's game. Konstantinov went way up and then just put that left hand right into Acton's head. Acton was slouching down at the time.
Back at the point, and did a good job to pick the pocket of Fedorov. Here's Makarov coming in now. Fedorov trailing. Makarov looked to get it out to him. Now centers it. Moving up there was Kravchuk. Here's Yzerman. Big chance. Scores. Lidster going after it. Burr in the corner, just puts it back in the net. Rick Green takes the man. The puck sitting loose, and a penalty coming up against Team Canada. Sean Burr coming back.
Well, watch this. Burr comes around from behind, gets both elbows up, and if Davidoff was hurting before, he's hurting twice as much now.
Burr just rattling the fillings of Davidov. And he picks up 2 minutes. Take your pick. Elbowing, charging.
I don't think Davidoff knows right now, after Burr hit him, whether or not he's in Bern, Switzerland, Tokyo, or he might be in Paris, France.
Well, wherever Davidov is, Burr is in the penalty box.
That's been clearly identified.
And there's Davidov on the bench trying to get his bearings. Burr called for charging, by the way, at 10:49. Says, yeah, I know where I am. It's all right.
Yeah, you can hear some yapping going on in the Soviet bench, too, as Davidoff waves off. He doesn't want any smelling salts or any other attention.
The lumber was laid on Tatarinov.
And Tocchet's the guilty man. So now this really puts Team Canada in the hole further.
The Soviets worked that puck around for a minute and a half and never did shoot.
Tocchet went down, committed himself totally. Tatarinov wasn't going to be fooled by Tocchet's attempted block shot, but as Tatarinov moved to his left, Tocchet, even still down, was able to give a crunching smack to Tatarinov with his stick.
Right across the right hand, and Tatarinov favored it as he headed over to the bench. Looks as though he's going to stay out on the ice, however. Acton, one-on-one. Here's Cullen into Acton, trying to bank it in front. It's on the mesh. And Acton given the late bump after the whistle by Fedosov, and everybody will come in. And
Gilmore got his elbows up, and that is dangerous right now. Team Canada have to stay away from penalties. Keith Acton went to the side of the net. He was trying to go to the front of the net with that puck. Seamack was back there and then got crunched by both Gilmore and Acton. Acton was trying desperately to get that puck off the back of the net before a whistle.
Acton, one of those guys who was there with the great effort every time.
There's that punch that Gilmore threw. That's not good discipline right now. Take the body, as Team Canada did on that last shift, with some good solid body checks that created turnovers of the puck. But don't get your elbows up or don't take foolish penalties. Then you'll oftentimes see the other team come right back with just as good a scoring chance. You see Brian Bellows took a good whack in the back of the head from the Soviet player, and you can tell that one hurt.
And speaking of Theoren Fleury, don't forget the World Junior Hockey Championships coming up. They will be on TSN for the first time this coming December from the 26th to January the 4th. Up there with Yzerman. Lead pass, Homatov shoots, scores. The Soviets scoring 4 goals in the first period. Here's Adams. Stopped by Erbay. Rebound, Coffey shooting. That's stopped too. Lidster. Back of the net, Tocchet trying to get it in front, and Erbay will hang on.
Canada finally getting some chances.
Up to McCowan, off the boards now to Sutter. The other defenseman is Lidster. Acton a backhand shot trying to fly in. Erbay gets decked after the shot. Canada's opportunities have been few. Give Arthur Erbay a lot of credit. He hasn't really been in this game and has come up with big stops. Fleury drills one in and Erbay makes another one.
And Fleury charged the net and right at Erbay, and of course Tocchet was right behind him. What Canada don't want to do right now when this game is way out of hand on the scoreboard 6-1 is embarrass themselves by taking some bad penalties and by causing any fights right now that would be very unnecessary on their part. Well, after the waltzing is all over with, I think Team Canada and the Soviets will probably both have a man going to the penalty box. Fleury went at Gusarov, and his stick was high, and he got knocked off balance, and when he came down, his stick actually hit Erbay, and that's what started this whole scrum.
Well, so far, Rick Tocchet heading off to the penalty box, as well as Igor Kravchuk of the Soviets. Curtis Leschyshyn for roughing at 14:40. And the Soviets will have a 4-on-3 man advantage for 24 seconds.
Curtis Leschyshyn played in the pre-tournament games last year for Team Canada, but did not make the final cut. It was a fairly aggressive penalty, no question about it.
And Canada destined to play for the bronze medal in their final round robin. Make that medal round game coming up against the Swedes. Cullen shoots high and wide and back up behind the play at the blue line. Rick Tocchet getting tangled up and delivering a two-hander on one of the Soviets. That was Vladimir Konstantinov who Tocchet tattooed.
Now Konstantinov then grabbed hold of Tocchet's leg and pulled him down right on top of him, so he was asking for trouble. Tocchet just took the helmet right off him and threw it down.
Holy fuck!
Two-on-one for the Soviets. Nemchinov. To Kravchuk. right in front, score! Fedesov.
Presentierungstag als Fahrausweis für die